Morning, children. In the previous class, we have learnt about the emergency of regional aspirations. Emergency of regional aspirations. In that, we have learnt about the Andhra Pradesh, how the Andhra Pradesh, the new political party was emerged. The second one, we have learnt about the Punjab issues, and also Assam, how the people was asked for the local rights. So these three topics in the previous class we have completed, children. Now I would like to explain you next topic. New initiatives in Rajiv Gandhi era. So Indira Gandhi was assassinated in 1984. So later the Rajiv Gandhi came into the power. Rajiv Gandhi became the prime minister in India. So he accepted the telecom revolution. He accepted the modern changes in the world, and he want to implement the computers and the online network in India. So he taken some initiatives in India and developed that technology. So we learnt that the topic new initiatives in Rajiv Gandhi era. New initiatives in Rajiv Gandhi era. In 1984, general elections were held, children. After the death of Indira Gandhi, elections were conducted in 1984. In that elections, the Rajiv Gandhi was won the large majority of MP seats in Lok Sabha. The Congress party emerged as the very strong party in the parliament. The Congress party was achieved 404 seats, Lok Sabha seats in parliament, and established government. Rajiv Gandhi established government in 1984. Rajiv Gandhi began a peace initiatives. Means that in some states there is a lot of disturbances, like in Punjab, agitation, and Assam. People was very unhappy, and northeastern states, Mizoram, and in Sri Lanka also some disturbances in LTT, in between the LTT and Sri Lanka government, the conflicts are there. So the Rajiv Gandhi want to restore peace in neighboring places, neighboring country, as well as in the states, within the states. So India sent its army. So the Rajiv Gandhi decided to send its army to maintain peace in between the separatist Tamils, means LTT, and Sinhala government. Sinhala's government means the local population in Sri Lanka is called Sinhalas, the religion. So Sinhalas are majority people. Sinhalas are the majority people in Sri Lanka. The Sinhalas government is there in Sri Lanka. The minorities is Tamil, Elam Tigers, Tamilians, Sri Lankan Tamilians. So the conflicts are there in between the Tamilians and the Sri Lanka government. So they are migrated from Sri Lanka to India. So it is created some disturbances in the coastal areas. So that is why the Rajiv Gandhi want to restore peace and want to make a compromise in between LTTE and the Sri Lanka. LTTE full form Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam. Okay, but it was not accepted by Sri Lanka Tamilians as well as Sri Lanka government. Okay, it was not accepted by Sri Lanka LTTE and as well as Sri Lanka government. So later the Indian army finally withdrew in 1989. When the Indian army were withdrawn from the Sri Lanka, means in 1989. So he realized that development benefits. The Rajiv Gandhi was realized that Rajiv Gandhi was realized that the development benefits much not getting the developmental benefits. Much of it did not reach the real beneficiaries. It means the government was spending a lot of money in different welfare programs and different, but those all welfare programs are not reached to the real beneficiaries, real poor people, not getting benefited by the government welfare programs. So the Rajiv Gandhi said that out of every rupee spent on the poor, barely only 15 paisa reached to them, to the poor people. Rajiv Gandhi felt that ensure the participation of the people in governance by the activating the Panchayati Raj institutions. Means Rajiv Gandhi was decided to the Rajiv Gandhi decided to restore the local governments. He want to establish the local government through which the people participation. If Gandhiji felt that ensure the participation of the people in the governance, in the local government, then it is better to get facilities to the people. That is why he was try to activate the Panchayati Raj institutions. He take initiatives. So in 1985 first budget also gave importance liberal ideologies, encouraged a liberal system. First time in India in 1985 first budget moved towards a more liberalized system. In India, removed some of the checks and controls. He want to liberalize trade. He was make some changes in important exports trade barriers. Rajiv Gandhi was convinced that the India need to adapt itself to the new technologies emerging in the world, such as computer and telecommunication technologies. So the Gandhiji realized that it is important to develop the technologies, new technologies like computers and telecommunication technologies are important to develop the country. So he convinced that India need to adapt itself to the new technologies emerging in the world, such as computers and telecommunication technologies. Initiated telecom revolution. Who brought the telecom revolution in India? Who brought the telecom revolution in India? It means the Rajiv Gandhi was brought the telecom revolution in India, which speeded up the spread the network to telephonic communication in the country, and also we spend the money to satellite technology. Satellites send it to those who provide the signals, proper signals, and it was developed the telecommunication, which spreaded up the spread of network of telephonic communication. So like he gave during the Rajiv Gandhi period, that is called as the Rajiv Gandhi era, he initiated and he developed a telecom revolution. Later we are going to another topic, that is rise of communalism and corruption in high place. In India, communities means religions. There are many religions are there in India, like importantly Hinduism and Muslim religions are important in India. Majority the most high number of people are there in India. So remaining other castes also, so other religions. So in this topic we have learned rise of communalism and corruption in high place. Corruption. In 1985, the Supreme Court passed a judgment on a case filed by Sabano. Sabano, a Muslim woman, she was filed a case against her husband. So who had divorced by her husband. So divorce was took place in between the Sabano and her husband in 1985. The Supreme Court passed a judgment. So now we have to study what the judgment was given by Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court ordered that she should be paid maintenance by her ex-husband. Maintenance charges means she was divorced, so before she was dependent on her husband. So later after divorce she became alone, and how she has to survive that. So Supreme Court ordered that she should be paid maintenance by her husband, maintenance charges by her husband every monthly maintenance should be paid the husband. But while progressive Muslims, while the Islamic laws are different, so some section of the Muslims were opposed this judgment. Some of the progressive Muslims were welcomed. The decision. Other section of the Muslims protested against the judgment. So they argued that it went against Islamic law. They argued that the Supreme Court judgment went against the Islamic laws. So finally, they forced the government through the government in the parliament, within the parliament, they made the act against the Supreme Court judgment in 1986. So central government came under the pressure of the orthodox sections and made a new law. By that law, permitted Muslims to pay maintenance charges of diverse women for a short period of 3 months only. 3 months, if they were given the compensation to the diverse women, it is okay. So like they modified the judgment of the Supreme Court and made new law in the parliament, within the parliament, and they changed the ideology of the Supreme Court. So like this was the scene that that ignore the interests of the women in the community. So that is seen means due to that parliament, what it has done means it was done that they gave importance for the Orthodox Muslims and denied the rights of women, denied the interests of the women in the community. Around the same period, some other incidences took place. That is, some section of the Hindus had began campaigned for the build a temple of Lord Rama in Ayodhya in the place of controversial construction Babri Masjid. So controversial construction Babri Masjid at the previously the Lord Rama temple exists in the place. The Hindus were claimed that it was the birthplace of the Lord Rama. The Hindus were claimed that it was the birthplace of Lord Rama. At the same time, Muslims claimed that this was the place for worship of Muslims. So this is the issue. Came into the Supreme Court, same period. Section of the Hindus had began campaign for build a temple for Lord Rama in Ayodhya. So the court ordered it be kept closed except on one day in a year. Initially, the court given the judgment that kept closed except one day in a year till the final decision was taken. Only one day it should be open. Remaining all days it should be closed the masjid for prayers. Initially gave the order by the Supreme Court. In 1986, the court ordered that the mosque kept open all days and allow Hindus to perform worship on a daily basis. The Hindus they allowed the Hindus to perform worship on a daily basis. So like the Supreme Court was give the judgment favorable to Hindus. So like according to some witnesses, some other arguments, in 1986 the court ordered that the mosque kept open on all days and allow Hindus to perform worship on a daily basis. So like different judgments was given the rise of communalism. These are related to communal issues. Supreme Court was given the judgments. So not only the communals, so other movements also, the non-political movements also held in India. The famous movements took place in India. Number of popular movements were emerged over a number of issues under the non-political leadership. The farmer movement held large farmers movements was fighting for markets. They produce the products, they need the market to sell their products, so they fight for the markets. And also they fight for minimum support price, better price and minimum support price for agriculture products. And also they fight for the great subsidy for inputs like diesel, fertilizers and electricity. So the better prices, minimum support price, they fight for the minimum support, fight for the marketplaces, they are also fight for subsidy for inputs in diesel, fertilizers and electricity. The farmers of Uttar Pradesh and Haryana, who was the leader, Mahendra Singh Tikait led the farmers movement in Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. Next, Sharad Joshi. Sharad Joshi was at the movement in Maharashtra. So the farmers leader Sharad Joshi in Maharashtra, he led the movement fight under the asking justice. They fight. They are asking justice, and they led the movement. They demanded to implement the benefits to the farmers. Many movements of the Adivasis and farmers against displacement by development projects like dams, against the dams and mines. The Adivasis and Dalits lost their agricultural lands, lost their movement in the forest, lost their houses, living places in the forest due to the construction of dams and mining activities. So, many movements of Adivasis and farmers took place, displacement of development projects like dams and mines, against dams and mines. Around the same period, blamed that several leaders that they had directly or indirectly, receiving bribes. Bofors scam from the Swedish manufacturers guns supplied to Indian Army. Swedish manufacturers guns supplied to the Indian Army, and that in that deal, purchasing deal, some political leaders directly or indirectly they received bribes. Directly received bribes. The scam, the Bofors scam took place in India. So VP Singh taken advantage. Then VP Singh taken advantage. Then during the election campaign, he asked the people to give the vote the Congress party. Give the vote Congress party. So these all things are happened during the British period, means during the Rajiv Gandhi period. So it was taken advantage by the opposition parties. VP Singh taken advantage, and during the elections campaign, he asked the people to give vote to the give vote against Congress party. Taken advantage in 1989 Parliament elections were held. In 1989 Parliament elections were held. Congress did not get full majority of seats and failed to establish government in central. The first time coalition government was led by VP Singh was formed. The era of coalition governments were first started by VP Singh in 1989. When the coalition government was emerged, means in 1989 the coalition governments were emerged by the VP Singh government. Since 1989, all governments that had formed at the national level, either coalition governments or minorities. After that, in 1989 onwards, all governments were formed as said VP PV Narasimha remaining all. So we have to examine that how it has happened. So a number of national and religious parties had come together to form the governments in the central level. So a number of national and regional parties come together, and they join together side by side, and they form the governments at that. Those are called as the coalition governments. Why the early coalition governments were highly unstable when the early VP Singh was established, but it was not run the full term 5 years. It was collapsed due to the regions did not last their full term. In National Front, means VP Singh was became the prime minister, but it was not continued till 5 years. But later the coalition government successfully run the coalition governments. Those are NDA, National Democratic Alliance, means coalition government, the alliance of BJP, coalition government means national NDA means alliance of BJP. So the National Democratic Alliance, it was run successfully. Next, Congress led UPA. UPA means United Progressive Alliance. UPA government was led by Congress party. Congress party is a major party. Remaining all were joined together. They formed United Nation Progressive Alliance. Completed their term. UPA was first coalition government. It was again elected 2 times. Manmohan Singh. Sonia Gandhi was the president of Congress party at the time. Manmohan Singh became the prime minister. So second time. So like these all are the big issues. So how this is how how the communal rise of communalism and corruption take place, and we have learned about new initiatives of Rajiv Gandhi era etc. So another important topic, the left front government in West Bengal. Left front government in West Bengal. The left wing political parties like the Communist Party of India, Communist Party of India, which is called as the left front, means some parties joined together and formed the left front children. So the Communist Party of India is important one. Communist Party of India, later Forward Bloc, Revolutionary Socialist Party won the elections in the revolution. But like three important: the Communist Party of India, Forward Bloc, Revolutionary Socialist Party. These three are including left front government. It was established in West Bengal. They won the elections in 1977 onwards. It successfully won the elections continuously. So won the elections in the state of West Bengal in 1977. Jyoti Basu was the formed, CPM formed the left front government. Jyoti Basu formed the left front government in June 1978. The West Bengal government launched Operation Bagra, means promised the people to give the land reforms. He promised to implement land reforms in West Bengal. According to that, the Communist Party was launched in June 1978. The West Bengal government launched Operation Bagra. Operation Barga. According to that records, first they maintained the records. They maintained the records. They checked the records. They made the records of the people. Record the name of the tenants. They made the records. Name of the tenants. Sharecroppers, means the tenants also called as sharecroppers. These are also called as bargadars. So tenants are major part of the population in West Bengal. Majority of the people are tenants in West Bengal. Functioning of Operation Barga depended on collective active by the tenants, depended on collective action by the tenants and the Panchayati Raj institutions. As well as these tenants, these two are play active role. Thus avoided bureaucratic delay and domination of the landlords. So provide the delay, reduce the domination of the landlords. So tenants are major part in the population of West Bengal. So functioning of the Operation Barga depended on collective action by tenants and Panchayati Raj institutions. Due to that, avoiding bureaucratic delay and domination of landlords. Officials conducted camps in the villages. In which the tenants would meet and discuss their issues. Officials conducted camps in the villages, then in which the tenants would meet and discuss the different issues. So different issues, a list of claims publicly verified in the presence of landlords. A list of claims means whatever the tenants they are asking the justice, and they are claiming claims. What are the claims are there publicly they verified in presence of the landlords. Then the names of the tenants recorded on the spot and registered the names of the tenants, and which was also recognized by the landlords. Later they made on the spot On the spot, they made the legal documents issued and distributed immediately. On the spot, the legal documents issued and distributed immediately in presence of the landlords. As a result of Operation Barca, the landlords were prevented forcefully throwing the bargadars of the land. By this law, the bargadars or tenants get the rights over the lands. So landlords do not prevented. Landlords' rights were prevented. Landlords can't have right to remove. Do not have right to remove bargadars without their permission, without their acceptance. Why? Because the bargadars tenants were for hundreds of years, so they depended on the lands. So they are removed means how livelihood became difficult. So due to the regions, given rights according to the rights, bargadars have right over the land, and they pay the tax to the landlord at the same time, but pay the give the share crop to the landlord, but they have right to cultivate land up to their wish, up to their wish they have right to cultivate land. The rights of lands made hereditary also. Rights of land made hereditary. The state governments guaranteed that the tenants would receive a fair share of crop, 75% if tenants provided the non-labor inputs, means fertilizers, pesticides, seeds, etc. Irrigation was uh, provided by the owners, landowners, means it will give the 50% share crop to the landowners if non-labor inputs tenants provided. If the tenants only have to provide all the things, means fertilizers, pesticides, they will take 75% of the share, and only the 25% of the share crop due to the landlords. Means if the non-labor inputs like fertilizers, pesticides, seeds, irrigation was provided by the tenants, it means they have right to get 75% of the share crop. They will give only 25% of the share crop to the landowners. If the landowners were provided the fertilizer, pesticides, non-labor inputs like fertilizer, pesticides, seeds, irrigation, then the 50% of the share crop give to landlords, 50% of the share crop taken by tenants. So that like the acts were made by the government which were benefited, many people were benefited in West Bengal. Half of the rural households, half of the rural households in village, 50% of the people, farmers benefited by the West Bengal land reforms. Agriculture production increased in West Bengal 30%. Rural poverty declined. 30% of the rural poverty declined by the acts. Due to the land reforms in West Bengal, most of the rural population satisfied and give support to left front, means communist government. Nearly 30 years, 1977 to 2006, the left front government will continue to rule because of they implemented the successful land reforms and many people are benefited. So we have completed this topic, children. Next topic I will explain you later. Okay.